Good morning. It is Wednesday, May 11th. Tomorrow is Red Day, Jason. So you're
It's
wearing you're
here.
wearing you're wearing blue. We're wearing blue today to get it out of the way. We didn't even talk
That's
about
right.
this. We didn't even talk about this. So well planned. We're talking about May 11th today. We'll talk about the schedule in just a second. That gets us 90 days out to Tuesday, August 9th, which is a little heartbreaking. If you have summer plans, invariably they're probably wrapped up by August 9th. So if you've got like some sort of a vacation on the books, it's already over. Like you're already 90 days past that. So here, this begs the question: Did you help enough people between 90 days ago and now to make sure that you have the beans
Yeah.
to go on vacation? Because this just
Right.
in, if you're scoring at home, Jason, everything's more expensive. So, yep.
Are you going to White Lake or Lake Tahoe? Which one?
Right. Well, what's really funny is we've been talking. So, as a few of you know, our traditional Cape Cod trip got blowed up a little bit due to some discrepancies down on the Cape. So Janina decides that we're going to go to not the ocean, but a lake, and she found a place. She found a few different locations down south. So we're heading to Lake Harriman. We're heading to Harriman, Tennessee. It's Watts Bar Lake is the name of the lake. So
Watts Bar?
Watts, yeah, Watts, Watts Bar Lake, and the place that we're
Huh.
renting from Airbnb is called Watt a Retreat. So they
Huh.
they had me at play on words. Anyway, so of course this also entails, and we just ran the numbers too. We need a vehicle big enough because we're bringing Aiden's girlfriend, so we need a vehicle big enough that there's a second row for them and then a third row to put like the luggage and Francis, right? So we need a larger vehicle than we currently own. So we're looking on Turo to like Airbnb a car. And I factored it, and Janina's like, maybe we just fly. And I just ran the numbers, and the flights are not great. And there's all 2 and 3 stops, 1, 2, and 3 stops.
Yeah,
So
that's too much.
yeah, so we're just
That is that is Tim at the beach without without
we're
his luggage.
yep,
It's
we're
not good.
renting a family truckster, and we'll probably be at $5 a gallon at that point. So just grin and bear it. But that is crazy.
So
90 days out from Tuesday, August 9th, as of
can
today.
I, can I ask a question that's going to be a sore subject?
Oh,
Are there
how'd
on
yesterday
this
go?
trip on this trip down? Is there going to be three drivers or two?
Oh, well, I got to be honest. We're hoping. So yesterday we had his meeting with the state yesterday. Ticket number 2, by the way, if people are scoring at home. So we had his first ticket was the 22 miles an hour over the speed limit in beautiful downtown Northwood.
But
Which,
Dad, it was 22. If you remember.
yeah, very excited to tell me he was 22 miles over the speed limit. That got him punched for 20 days. And now this one we met yesterday. This one took place on 16. Do you remember? I'll tell the whole story now because I have all the intel. I hadn't seen the ticket. I knew what the fine was because the statey, God bless him, the statey lowered it from its original number, which we were told in conversation that he was doing 78 and a 70 or 75 and a 70. It was 86 in a 65, by the way.
Oh, the truth shall set you free.
Yeah, the paperwork shows that it was 80. So 21. He's getting better, though. Only 21 miles over the speed limit. So, but the statey, God bless him, reduced it to 70 over 65. So it was the tiniest fee ever. Although at this point, now he runs the risk of losing it for 45 days. So we're waiting on our next date. But I said to him, you may luck out because we might be on vacation when he's without his license for at least a portion of it. And I'm like, if we're down on the lake and like there's nothing for you to do, you're not going anywhere, you're just hanging out, we're doing family stuff, that 11 days will be like whatever, you know.
Right.
So who knows. So yeah, that went pretty well yesterday, but we still have to have our second appointment. I told him too, between me leaving early for lacrosse games, leaving early to do his hair for prom, and all of his court dates, I've used 5 vacation days on him. He's a good person. I love him. I practice saying that without laughing or crying. I love him. He's so good. He's so good. So you are joining us right now. This is your morning quick start. My name is Timothy Lindsay. Jason Westcott, one of your managing brokers, is here at 9 o'clock. You've got a whole morning full of stuff. Let's navigate this carefully. At 9 o'clock in the training room in Portsmouth or on timsoffice.com, which is the Zoom channel, you can join us for session 7 of the new Ignite. It is Ignite 6.0. Gary skipped over 3, 4, and 5. We went right to 6. This is capturing leads with open houses. We're going to talk about open house strategies. Then at 10 o'clock, you've got Maine back on Keller TV. Maine contracts on Keller TV, and then New Hampshire contracts at 11 o'clock on Keller TV. So join us for those classes, always on Wednesdays. Then at nooner, back on Tim's office, very confusing, I know, in person in Portsmouth and back on timsoffice.com, we've got our good friend Rosanna is joining us. Rosanna Queenan, we met at Masterminds at Mohegan, Jason. Yeah. So her company's called Queen Vest. She helps with financials and all those sort of questions and concerns and things that you might want to be doing. So the question we have a lot of time from our agents, Jason, is, should I be a sole proprietor? Should I do LLC? What in the hell is an S Corp? What's appropriate for me? So she's going to have that conversation. That's at 12 o'clock. So we are going to have that in the room in Portsmouth. Also, we're going to be at Tim's office, and we will also push that out to Facebook. So if you can't be here, you can be online, and obviously we'll monitor the chat if you guys have pressing questions. And this is a first in a series. We're going to have Rosanna back quite often to help with these kind of concerns. But we wanted to start with this one. And we didn't want to drop it. We talked about, I think you and I were standing there talking to her at Mohegan, and I'm like, I don't want to drop this on like April 10th because people will be like, I'll get my S Corp together for my taxes. Like, no, this is a bigger conversation. There's a lot more paperwork. Ultimately, you should be listening to her today, asking your questions today in preparation for whatever you decide to become. And do you have to do any of these things? No. You'll notice it's about employment situations, taxes, benefits, loopholes. I said loopholes. There it is. I did it. But they're there. There's a lot of things that you can do that your CPA will tell you that you should do that will help you in save money when tax time comes, which everybody loves. I think a lot of our agents historically will pay them off quarterly. Above and beyond that, a lot of people, and this is the misconception. People are like, oh, I'm gonna ask for an extension to October. You still have to make a payment in April to extend to October because there's still a press, and they're like, well, we still know you owe us at least $30, so give us 10. But anyway, she'll talk about all that stuff at 12 noon. That's going on, and then this afternoon, 4 p.m. in North Conway. Krista is hosting a happy hour on the deck. Beautiful farmer's porch wraparound at the North Conway office. So go up there at 3:59. They're going to be cracking cocktails and just hanging out, wrapping up the day with a beautiful view because you have the vista straight across the street of the Old Man on the mountain. Actually, that's north. That's Franconia Notch, and that's Cannon. But anyway, you know what I mean.
Mount Washington.
Yes. That's what I meant. The Cog Railway. If you squint, you can see the Cog Railway. Reminders too. We are celebrating the ability to help out our friends and join the opportunity to make donations. It's a $1 million mission for Ukraine crisis relief in collaboration with Shelter Box. The details are in the morning news. So if you go there, it's right at the top. There's more details towards the bottom. And tomorrow, Red Day. I believe we intend as a staff to be on campus, and it's actually at Portsmouth campus. We're going to be on site for 8 o'clock. I believe Jason and myself and a couple other people are probably going to throw a phone into a gimbal to do some sort of a quick start. It's not going to be elongated. We're basically going to remind you of where we are. And please come and join us all day if you can. If you can only do a few hours. I know some agents are going to come in the morning, Jason, and hang out for a little bit, and then they got to head out. People have commitments with their families. If you're able to pull your kids out and bring them, it's going to be, there's always enough light work for people to help out. And I don't mean like small children. Not that you can't swing through with your small children. We'd love to see everybody's families. But if you've got kids that you want to yank out of school, by all means, I think Francis got the exception, and he's allowed to come. Because here's the thing, Jason. They said that Aiden couldn't do Red Day this year because if he does, he misses lacrosse. Because he misses school because it's unexcused absence. We said, well, and at his school, and a lot of these high schools do this, Jason, you do service work. And at Brown Cow Academy in Northwood, they expect you to do 40 hours over the course of your 4 years, and we're going to have this be part of it. And they're like, Red Day hasn't been a thing. This is the first time since he's been in high school for both of them that it's been a thing again, physical at least. And the only reason they're letting Cameron do it is because of his medical exception, because of his diabetes. So for him to be with me on site at an event like this makes more sense than him doing something where there wouldn't be an adult that understands or a nurse on standby. So he's hanging out with us tomorrow. So if there is any heavy equipment or tractors or front end loaders, Cameron will be at the wheel with Jason probably.
Yeah. Well, I already got my Cameron set up. I'm bringing a backpack blower that is not stock. Not gonna lie to you, it's tuned up, and he will be running around with a backpack. I'm gonna start it up.
I just let him go.
It's got a throttle. Yeah, he's just gonna be fixing people's hair,
clearing everything
blowing
out.
off cars. I mean, whatever it is. If you see this kid running around with a backpack, watch out. Not responsible.
Here's my concern. I think Cameron's a good solid 109 pounds soaking wet. So is he going to be okay?
If he aims it down, he might go up.
He's off. Yeah. The redheaded bottle rocket. The redheaded bottle rocket. Francis Lindsay. Awesome.
He's going to love it.
Yeah, it's going to be good. So talk to me about what's going on with contracts. What are we seeing in the last 167 and a half hours that concerns you, the state, JV, our agents?
I would say the biggest thing that we're seeing right now is appraisals, right? Appraisal gaps either being accepted or written by us. The terms of these appraisal gaps, if there is any gray, and I will tell you there's gray in all of them, we are starting to see how people are pushing back, whether it's the buyer or the seller, in valid points, to the point where, we've had Stephen Hyde look at a few and he's like, it's not really written the best. You know what I mean? So if we're going to be doing or giving appraisal gaps, the buyer to cover any gap is not okay. Because if the house comes in 60 grand light, we now have a problem. Yep. Right? It didn't say they would cover any gap. It didn't say to what point,
right.
To what point being the lowest. We have all these clauses. They are well written. If you guys need them, reach out. We can give them to you. The other thing that we get is, why are they not in the appraisal library, the clause library? So we have a clause library, and it's very, very, very small. The reason why Jen doesn't want those in there is because as this stuff changes, we can't keep up with as it changes. We keep up with Mr. Hyde, adjusting and making corrections in what we're seeing. We're able to do that on the fly. And as this market's changing, and it's changed so much in the last year and a half, and it's going to change the next year and a half, it takes so long for us to get that stuff into .loop, into command, into DocuSign, and to get it in and out. It's just too much for the compliance team, that has access to the ability to do that. So if you guys are writing clauses on stuff, if you don't have our appraisal gap clause stuff, reach out. If you are writing stuff, please reach out anyway. Our concern is that you're writing stuff in these and it's contradicting a purchase and sale agreement. Sure. What one section says versus what the other section says. This is why we always teach people to read these purchase and sale agreement, no matter what state it is. Read all 5 pages, whatever state you're in, and understand that you might have to redact some stuff out in some certain sections. So, that's it. The other big thing is that we need to make sure that these are not our decisions. We're not saying, hey, Mr. Lindsay, you and Janina should remove inspections.
Right.
You should do an appraisal gap. These are the options. This is what we've seen, and I'm going to do what you tell me to do. Right, under your direction. Which way would you like to go?
Such a great point that you brought up, the fact that we feel like in this certain section of the contract, we're adding something in or creating an addendum that's a force for good for some portion of the conversation, but it actually negates another portion of the contract. And you use the word small, and I'm going to push back on that a little bit and sort of rephrase that for people's mindset. When Jason talks about the fact that when you go into, and I have a larger point that has been bothering me for over 20 minutes. When you go into the closet, right? The closet, and you look and you see what we have in there. Jason referred to it as like there's not a ton of stuff in there. And I'm going to replace the word small with curated. Like when you go into a museum, it is the finest works. It's not all the works. Love your kid, cute picture of a chicken she made in the 3rd grade, not going in the museum, right? It can be in your museum, which is not for public consumption. So I hope I'm making my point. And I say all this just knowing that most recently, hearing about an agent that was at was arm wrestling with their brokerage. True story. Arm wrestling with their brokerage over the state paperwork, and ultimately left their brokerage over the state paperwork. That agent is now at another brokerage using the state paperwork. So if you're upset about the state paperwork, you don't feel it currently, or this current version of New Hampshire, Maine, Vermont, or Massachusetts serves your client, we do have addendums in there that we can utilize. And there is language that we can utilize to curate the contract so it's hyper clear, not gray, and it's a win-win for both clients. But for an agent who's licensed in any state to be pushing back against their brokerage, who's supporting the state paperwork issued to us by the governor, and then feeling like, well, if I go to a different ballpark, the state paperwork will be different. I'm just going to let you guys figure that out for a second. Just think about the insanity there. So everything we're doing, and honest to God, our two brokers are amazing. Everything that they're doing to give you guys the tools to write excellent contracts, to protect your consumers, to protect your clients. The paperwork's not here to get us paid. The paperwork is here to protect the client in the transaction. The state, when you go to the commission, they're not your friend. They're not like, oh, don't worry, we'll get you out of this. Your clients are stupid. No, they are there because you didn't support your client. And I know we used this last week, Jason. We talk about this all the time, the great John Duffy, right? We work with our clients until the contract is written, and together with our clients, we support the contract, right?
Yep.
We work with our clients to support them until the contract is written. Then we work with our clients to support the contract. Once the contract is written, that is the standard. That is the bad guy in the room. And you might feel this sense of shock and awe when you're putting your contracts together. And maybe your first one, I appreciate that. But if you're a wily veteran agent and you're at odds with the paperwork that we've been using for years, and yes, it changes. There's always changes to the state paperwork, but not every 20 minutes. So the better you understand the contract, the less adversity you'll have when you write one. And that's why today is so wildly important. That's why today we don't put stuff on top of contracts. And I say that and you're like, well, Tim, Ignite's happening. Yes. And if at 10 o'clock your face belongs in Maine, go to Maine, because my face is being recorded teaching Ignite, and you can go back and watch that later. Be in the live contracts class over anything else.
Yeah, it's the longest ongoing educational series we've done at this company.
Yep.
Classes.
Used to be. Did we do? I feel like 1,000 years ago, at the women's prison. I remember in the yes, 501 Islington Street, beautiful building. It's not a beautiful building. Upstairs in the center training room, I feel like way back in the day, not only did we have weekly contracts, we had weekly sales meetings.
We did, and I'll go back even further before Mr. Lindsay was here. We used to be at the end of the building, the corner, above Nate's old office. That was the training room.
Okay.
Right? And we used to do contrast class in there. John Duffy taught them, right? And Nathan back then. And yeah, that was on Wednesday with contrast class from 11 to noon, and then weekly sales meetings from noon to 1.
It's crazy. Great.
And Brad Kelly did not buy us lunch because I don't think he could afford to then. He was just a young pup. It was bring us sandwich.
Bring a sandwich. Yeah. It was a chew and do. So yeah, we're very lucky. And I know I say this all the time. And I remember having a conversation years ago with an agent, and I was really getting after her about telling her story, and you should talk more about all the things that you do for your clients. Well, I'm going to take the opportunity to brag for Nate. And I'm not bragging for Nate because it's not bragging when it's true. The amount of tools and systems and opportunities for growth that are available to us as agents at this market center in this footprint is obnoxious. And you will go and you will have conversations. When you go to Mega Chicken down in beautiful downtown Austin in August, 106 degrees, pack your wool tweed, and you talk to agents from around the country, stands to reason agents from around the country that are going to these events, they're plugged in, and they're probably at very robust market centers. And you'll also hear huge gaps. And they'll be like, you have what? You did what? Your OP offers what?
Yeah.
This is so very different here. So I know, and we talked about this last week, I know we can fall into, oh, I got to go to contracts. You don't have to go to contracts. You get to go to contracts. There's an agent on the seacoast at a brokerage currently being underwhelmed. And the first time they see a contract is when they try to write one by themselves because there's nobody there to help. So please lean into the conversation taking place today at 10 o'clock for Maine, 11 o'clock for New Hampshire. It's so important. This is our one thing, right? When it gets down to it, once we have an opportunity to work with a client, this is our highest and best use, making sure that we're bringing them up to speed. Our job is to communicate, educate, facilitate. And if you've got somebody to the point where they're about to write a contract, you want to be sharp as a tack in doing that, because everything depends on your ability to communicate through this paperwork at a high level. So there's no nuances. So there's no, I don't have to call Jason and be like, yeah, did you get that? Yeah. Well, what I actually meant was, no, you should never say that if the contract is written. It should be crystal clear. Crystal clear.
It's true, because the funniest thing for me, like it hits me certain times. First time it ever hit me was years ago. I was negotiating a deal with somebody, and somebody goes, "Where did you learn that?" And I said, "Well, I learned that in our contract class." And they said, "We don't do that at my brokerage." They then came to Keller Williams. They're still here. I'm not going to drop a name because I don't want to embarrass them. The other time,
it's not an embarrassment. They were smart enough to come join us, right?
The other time it really hit me about the value here. And it's not my opinion, and it's not that Jen or I or Nate are smarter than anybody. It's not. We just see so many contracts and deals, and we see so much stuff. We're going to the commission that we actually get to see the bad side of it and what can happen. And how that hit me was Jason Houle was going for his broker's license. And Jason Houle has been out of production for years, right? He's been the compliance officer for 6 years, 7 years, whatever it's been. And he was sitting in front of the commission, and they said to him, tell me about your experience. So he said, I do this. I write the advertisement for Keller Williams, Coastal Lakes and Mountains. I view about 30 to 40,000 contracts. And when he said that, the entire commission, minus Sue Doyle, all went like this.
Yeah.
Like, he sees more deals in a month than a seasoned agent or broker of 40 years will see in their career.
Correct.
Right? So that's what me and Jen can get to leverage what he's seeing. He's bringing it to Jen. Jen's involving me. We're getting involved with Hyde, the attorneys, the judges, all the stuff. So it's you can be better than I am or Jen is faster, because leverage what we know, leverage what we've seen. You know what I mean? So those are the times I've actually seen the ability and what this is really looks like. Because I don't think people realize how you get there, right? Like, people say to me, "How did you get there, Jay? How do you know the RSAs and all that?" I didn't. When I came here, I thought you could be a buyer's agent and facilitator the same day. And I was an agent of 4 years. And Nate was like, "Wait a minute, what did you just say?" You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. It's Keller Williams is like a public library. You can have the card, but you got to go in.
Yes.
You have to go in. The information is here. You just step in the front door, right? It's here. We'll help you. But if you don't, you can say that you're an agent here, and if you don't plug in, you don't get to get it. You know what I mean? Like, I tell people all the time, like, why are you not in coaching with Tim? You get a MAPS level coach for free 50 free. I like that number.
Free 50 free.
Yeah, you know what I mean? You know what I mean? Like, it's here. Just use your library card, otherwise known as your KW, your door key that we gave you. Come inside, learn. You know what I mean? Because you're a better negotiator. The best contract negotiators I know, Addendums, are the people that know the contract the best.
Yeah. Absolutely. So again, Red Day tomorrow, community campus, 100 Campus Drive in Portsmouth. Again, we're going to be there at 8 o'clock, so come and join us. I think work gets underway around the 9 o'clock hour. And
now, Timmy, is there enough parking there for everybody, or should we be carpooling from the Portsmouth office over? What's the rule? Do we know?
I don't think that's the worst idea, and I have no idea on parking, and I apologize.
I've been there before, years ago, before it was the community campus. It was something else back then, and there's a lot of parking over there. I just don't know, how many businesses are inside, or their charity, local charity.
Sure.
501c. I don't know how many are in there and what the availability for parking is. So I didn't know.
Yeah, I'm not sure. So, I mean, if you guys can meet and carpool in, that's great. Don't forget, label your tools, wrap them with weird colored tape, write your names on them. That way, at the end of business, we can get them back into everybody's hands. And obviously, if stuff gets left on site, we'll track people down. The only tool, Westcott's going to love this, the only piece of heavy equipment that's ever been left behind somewhere, he knows where I'm going now, and hasn't been returned to its rightful owner, Sean Cody left his putter on the 17th fairway, or 17th green at Nippo 3 years ago, and it's still in JV's truck. Yeah.
And not because Jen has not tried to reach out to Sean to have him meet up.
Well,
Cody
you
just
know
happens
what?
to find putters every week that he likes better, I guess.
Cody played the Timmy card. He's like, you know what? I got to get a new one now. Who knows when I'll see JV again? I got to get a new putter. So he did. He rebuilt his whole bag in the offseason. God bless him. Hey, and again, tomorrow, Red Day, and then on Friday we have we'll have Ignite again. So no Ignite tomorrow, obviously. Ignite again on Friday, session number 8. And then we have Coffee with a Capper with Shannon Casey and Brad Kelly. Shannon Casey is going to tell us all about Shannon Casey. That's at 11 o'clock. And we'll obviously talk Friday morning, but I wanted to bring you guys up to speed. And there's a cool event coming up. Golf is next week. That snuck up really fast. We do have golf next week. A reminder, the All Partners meeting is going to be at the Meredith Business Center Thursday now because we moved it off of Wednesday because of golf getting shifted. So that's taking place at Meredith Wednesday. And the date's escaping me now. I do believe it is in June. There's an event going on at Gunstock. We're having a company barbecue at Gunstock. Did you see that?
Yes, I did.
Yeah.
Mark Lesniak's doing one in May.
And
25th.
there's one in Meredith on the 25th. Yeah. Lots of stuff going on. We'll see you in and around the Market Center. We'll see you for Maine, and we'll see you for New Hampshire at 10 and 11 o'clock, respectively. That's at Keller TV. Ignite starts in a few minutes here in Portsmouth and at Meet with Coach at timsoffice.com. And then one last thing, and now it's absolutely escaping me what I was just going to say, so I don't even remember. I don't know.
Oh, Jay's cell phone is 603-234-2589.
Oh, you said it yourself. Yeah, if you need Jason Westcott, you can call him at 603-234-2589, although you have him locked and loaded for the next few hours on Keller TV. So we'll see you at 10 o'clock from Maine. See you guys. Thank you, Jason.
See you, Tim.